What's up, guys? It's your guy Tyler, back with another Super Squad D video. And today, we're talking all things Mighty Morphin Power Rangers by Boom Comics.
Power Rangers? Isn't that just a book for us kids?
Yo, yeah, I get why you would think that because of the stereotypes around Power Rangers, but let me tell you, this book is for literally everybody, and it is the best book I have read in a long time.
I don't know. Are you sure? I'm a real boy.
Yeah, I'm definitely sure. That's why I'm like doing the video. Alright, so let's talk about everything Power Rangers. Now first, what gives me any Power Ranger cred? Well, nothing really. I mean, yes, I did watch the very first episode when it aired back in... And since then, I've watched probably 523 episodes total of the entire Mighty Morphin Power Ranger series. Technically, it's not Mighty Morphin, it had all the different names, and then after Saban sold it, and then back, Lodian. Anyway, not only have I been super into the show and seen most of the episodes, and not only am I super into the toys, and have I read all the books, I don't know if anything gives me more Power Ranger cred than the fact that in the second grade, I decided that I love Tommy, the Green Ranger, so much, Tommy, there he is, that I was gonna change my name to Tommy. So on all of my tests in the second grade, I started writing Tommy instead of Tyler. And one day my teacher called me after class and she was like, listen, no, you can't just change your name. You can't just say your name is something different. And I'm like, no, but I'm Tommy now. Like, I want to be Tommy. And she's like, okay, listen, when you turn 18, you can change your name to Tommy. Until then,
write your own freaking name.
So when I turned 18, no lie, I did nothing. So many regrets. But you're not here to hear about my Power Ranger love affair, are you? Kind of weird if you are. No, you're here to hear about Power Rangers by Boom Studios and why I think it is one of the best superhero comic books of the last decade, or 5 years, of the last since it's been out. And why you should read it, whether or not you're a Power Rangers fan. So there's going to be a non-spoiler part of the review, and then there's going to be a spoiler part. So how will you know when it's going to be a spoiler part? There'll be a little notification that will say, spoiler, something like that. So this is the non-spoiler part of the review. If you're a longtime Power Rangers fan, you already know all this, but the book is going to enrich everything that you love about Power Rangers, because Power Rangers is centered around 5 teenagers with attitude. And those teenagers come together to form essentially a superhero group and try to stop this lady, evil Rita Repulsa, for taking over the world. Now, as a kid, I loved the show and it was awesome and I thought it was just so fun. As an adult, rewatching it, while I do still enjoy it and it has its place, it's very kiddish and very campy, and some of the times we love those things. It's not really a super, what I would consider a serious show, and this comic book is not a serious comic book in the sense that it's dark and gritty, but it's a serious comic book in that it takes itself seriously. And so that's the first misconception that I think everybody should get out of their minds when they hear there's a Power Rangers comic is, this is not a Power Rangers comic based on the TV show. This is a Power Rangers comic that is based on the concepts of the show, but it's taken by writer Kyle Higgins and later others in a much more serious and self-serious direction, meaning that the plots and the storylines and the character development all takes itself seriously and gives itself the reverence that as kids we all thought that Power Rangers had when we watched it, but it didn't. But now in the comic book series it does, and it's just so awesome. So I really think you'll enjoy these books if you enjoy any type of teen-centered team book. So if you enjoy things like Teen Titans or maybe even Young Justice, New Warriors, some of the early X-Men books, anything that centers around teen heroes, Young Avengers, I think you'll really like this book because it really centers around 5 unique teenagers that all have their own personalities, they've all got their own stuff going on in life, trying to be superheroes. And the way that the plot unfolds is masterfully told. So if you're a Power Rangers fan, you know that Tommy is the Green Ranger, he started off bad and then he became good, and this series picks up right after Tommy has gone from bad to good and joins the team. And let me just tell you, off the bat, the story arcs are so good. They introduce so many good new villains and new characters, and they bring back so many characters that we loved from the show and give them new, big, better roles. It's so awesome. Now, another thing I want to talk about in the non-spoiler section here is just the art. The art is stellar. It's so good. Sometimes when I see art that's based off of a television or movie property that already exists, it gets a little weird to me. I don't know, something about like photorealism translating to art just always doesn't really land very well with me. But they do a really good job of picking up on some of the key features of the characters in the book. I'm sorry, the characters in the show, but they put them in the book in a way that makes them feel unique in their own and not just like a carbon copy of the character, the actors and actresses who played them on the show. The art, out of this world. The coloring, so good. And this is a story-driven book. It's for everybody, and everybody can enjoy it if you're not a longtime Power Ranger fan. But if you are a Power Ranger fan at all, this story is written specifically for you because it treats Power Rangers and the long history of the 700-something episodes we've had with such reverence and appreciation that is just like totally unparalleled. It's raining outside, but it's daylight. That's weird. Now, the spoiler section. Spoilers incoming. 3, 2, Tommy is Lord Dragon! Okay, that probably didn't make any sense to you if you haven't actually read the book, but if you've read the book, you know that the big central story piece is that Tommy, who was once bad and became good, in an alternate dimension stays bad. And he decides to try to take over all dimensions and all Power Rangers. So he shows up, he kills the Green Ranger eventually after they try to stop him. They go to the alternate world. There's all kinds of chaos, all kinds of fighting. So many Rangers are dead at the hands of Lord Draken, but that's not enough. He doesn't want to just conquer the regular Power Rangers world that we're reading about. He wants to conquer all Power Ranger realities. And so this is where the series gets so good for longtime fans, because he goes to all these different Power Ranger realities and tries to take them over. RPM, he goes to Samurai, he goes to all these different ones, including even a cameo by the most recent Power Ranger season, Beast Morphers, which I thought was really cool that they went out of their way to try to include almost every season of Power Rangers. And we get some cool appearances by someone from Time Force, we get some really cool appearances by some of my favorite Rangers, and we even see my favorite Ranger team, which is Power Ranger Zeo, for a little bit, and we get to see Tommy as the Red Zeo Ranger. It's just so awesome. The story is so compelling, and ultimately, that's why I think everybody should read this book, because the story is extremely compelling. I mean, when I'm reading this book, I could not put it down. All the way from the random monsters they're fighting to discovering that Zordon had a team of Rangers before this team of Rangers on Earth, and like they all got slaughtered. It was crazy. And then we see like the history of the Psycho Rangers, which the Psycho Rangers are some of my favorite villains of all time, all the way through to the ultimate fighting of Draken, and then obviously spoilers, but Draken wins at one point and shatters the grid. We see this concept of the Morphin Masters. Oh, it's just so good, and it's treated with such reverence and appreciation for all the characters. So ultimately, I think anybody will enjoy this book. But if you're a Power Rangers fan, this book was truly written for you, and you cannot sleep on this book. Like, this book, I know there have been people who have read this who had no interest in Power Rangers and turned out to love it, and I've not met a single Power Ranger fan who didn't think this book was incredible. When I first read it, back I think in 2016, it was the book of the year for me, and every book I've read continues to get better and better. I'm not fully caught up on the series yet. I've only read these hardcovers, but I cannot wait to get to more Power Rangers. So, anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed this short breakdown of Power Rangers and why I love it. Go out, find the books, buy the books, read the books, love the books, enjoy the books. Oh yeah, and like and subscribe. See you next time. Peace.
I'm a real boy!
Shut up!